Welcome to History Explained, where we illuminate the past to better understand our present. I'm your guide to your daily journey through the past to empower the future. Today is Saturday, July 26, 2025. As we do every Saturday, we're exploring a significant military engagement that shaped the course of history. Today, we turn our attention to the Battle of Stalingrad, fought from August 23, 1942, to February 2, 1943. This brutal urban warfare campaign became the turning point of World War II on the Eastern Front and marked the beginning of Nazi Germany's irreversible decline. What makes Stalingrad particularly significant is how it transformed from a strategic objective into a symbolic struggle between Hitler and Stalin, demonstrating how political considerations can override military logic with devastating consequences for all involved. So let's explore this pivotal engagement, examining Hitler's strategic miscalculations, the brutal urban combat, and the Soviet counteroffensive that changed the war's trajectory. Operation Barbarossa, Germany's 1941 invasion of the Soviet Union, had stalled short of Moscow during the winter of 1941-42. For his 1942 summer offensive, Hitler shifted focus southward toward the oil fields of the Caucasus, viewing Soviet petroleum resources as crucial to Germany's war effort. Stalingrad, originally named Tsaritsyn and later renamed for Stalin, sat strategically on the Volga River. Capturing the city would cut Soviet supply lines along the river while providing a defensive anchor for German forces advancing into the Caucasus oil region. Hitler's fatal error was pursuing two divergent objectives simultaneously. Army Group South was divided, with one force advancing toward the Caucasus while another, the 6th Army under General Friedrich Paulus, moved toward Stalingrad. This division of forces weakened both operations. The German assault on Stalingrad began with devastating air raids on August 23, 1942. Luftwaffe bombers reduced much of the city to rubble, killing thousands of civilians but inadvertently creating defensive positions that Soviet forces would use effectively in the coming battle. Soviet General Vasily Chuikov commanded the 62nd Army defending Stalingrad. His strategy emphasized close-quarters combat that would negate German advantages in tanks and air support. Soviet forces fought from building to building, sometimes room to room, turning every structure into a fortress. The battle became synonymous with urban warfare's brutal realities. Soldiers fought with rifles, grenades, and bayonets at distances of mere meters. Life expectancy for newly arrived Soviet soldiers was measured in days. The city became a hellscape where survival depended on cunning, courage, and luck. German forces controlled about 90% of the city by mid-November, but could never eliminate the last Soviet strongholds. The grain elevator, railway station, and Pavlov's house became legendary defensive positions where small Soviet units held out against overwhelming odds. While the world focused on Stalingrad's street fighting, Soviet commanders were secretly preparing Operation Uranus, a massive counteroffensive targeting the weaker Romanian and Italian armies protecting German flanks along the Don and Volga rivers. On November 19, 1942, Soviet forces launched their counterattack. Within 4 days, the pincer movement had encircled the entire German 6th Army and parts of the 4th Panzer Army, roughly 250,000 Axis troops trapped in what became known as the Stalingrad Cauldron. Hitler refused Paulus's requests to break out, instead ordering the surrounded forces to hold their positions while promising relief from outside. This decision doomed the 6th Army, as German forces lacked the strength to break through Soviet encirclement lines. The final phase saw the gradual destruction of trapped German forces. Ammunition, food, and medical supplies dwindled as winter conditions worsened. Luftwaffe attempts to supply the pocket by air proved inadequate, delivering only a fraction of required supplies. On January 31, 1943, Hitler promoted Paulus to field marshal, expecting him to commit suicide rather than surrender. Instead, Paulus surrendered the next day, becoming the first German field marshal ever taken prisoner. The remaining German forces surrendered on February 2. The battle's casualties were staggering. Axis forces lost approximately 800,000 men killed, wounded, or captured. Soviet casualties were even higher, with estimates ranging from 1.1 to 1.3 million. The German 6th Army was effectively annihilated. Fewer than 6,000 of the 91,000 Germans taken prisoner ever returned home. Stalingrad marked the turning point of World War II in Europe. After this defeat, German forces never again launched a major offensive on the Eastern Front. The myth of German invincibility was shattered, while Soviet confidence soared following their first major victory against Nazi forces. The battle also demonstrated the importance of industrial production and logistics in modern warfare. Soviet factories continued producing weapons even while under siege, while Germany's inability to adequately supply surrounded forces revealed critical weaknesses in their military organization. Stalingrad became a symbol of resistance against fascism and remains one of the most studied battles in military history. The city, later renamed Volgograd, contains numerous memorials commemorating the sacrifice of those who fought there. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of the Battle of Stalingrad. Tomorrow, we'll be back with our Innovations and Inventions episode, where we'll be examining the development of antibiotics and their revolutionary impact on medicine and public health. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how the Battle of Stalingrad changed the course of World War II. Until next time, I'm your guide for History Explained, where we believe that understanding yesterday is the key to navigating tomorrow.